Here we have a new 2024 Ford Edge. Now this one comes in the ST trim level with all-wheel drive. This color is Agate Black Metallic, and then we have ebony, leather, and suede interior. And the powertrain consists of that 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 engine, made into a 7-speed automatic transmission. But as we come around to the front end here, LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights. But love the look of the Edge, especially with this ST being all blacked out, grills blacked out. Love the ST badge there. Just a very, very sophisticated but really sporty look. And down here we have 21-inch painted aluminum wheels, which look fantastic on this thing. Passive keyless entry on the front, B&O sound system, power door lock controls, memory seat functions. We have one touch automatic up and down windows for the front, regular power windows for the back, power mirror controls, rear window lock is there. We do get blind spot monitors as well. Everything else is hopefully pretty self-explanatory. I am surprised we get a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel here. Pleasantly surprised. But there's the power driver's seat, two-way power lumbar support. And I always liked having this here if you wanted to put something small in the side, or even if your phone falls out on the left side of your pocket or whatever, something there to catch it. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So let's go ahead and check out the rear seat room here. So I've always liked the Edges for this reason. They look good. The space in here is pretty nice. And then of course with this ST trim, you've got a true sports SUV here. But rear side pockets, both sides, or rear seat pockets on both sides, excuse me. And then we have 2-stage heated outboard seats for the back. The rear AC vents are there. 2 USB-C charge ports, and then a 110 3-prong plug-in down there. It's kind of hard to see because it's dark back here and these windows are tinted pretty well. Now we do get that panoramic vista roof, so that's with the sunshade all the way up. And then the center seat folds down, bottle holders are there. And if you can see, that's with the seat up, and then you get a little bit of recline for this back seat as well. But let's go ahead and make our way towards the very back. Child locks can be controlled there. Fuel filler. And a big shout out to Ford Lincoln of Franklin for allowing me to review this Edge ST today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But tow hitch is installed. Take a look underneath. Pretty aggressive sounding exhaust. And then we do get a power lift gate. And tons of space behind the second row. Have a pocket here, pocket there. And then on either side, we have hooks that come out if you want to hang something. And then we also have power releases for that second row if you don't want to manually do it for whatever reason. And then the spare is right there. So still a pretty practical SUV, I think, even though this one's more sport oriented. And then if you do want to fold that seat flat from back here, just pull here. And then you can run longer objects from the front to the back and then just pull it back up to lock it back into place. But I'm going to try to leave a link to the window sticker in the description, but I'm going to go over this. Hopefully y'all can see. And just pause anywhere you need to. Hopefully there's not too much reflection when I edit the video, but pretty loaded out. But honestly, for that price point, not bad, seeing as I just drove an ST line that was around 48 grand. This one's 55,405 for a true ST. And of course you get that 7-speed automatic with that 2.7-liter twin turbo V6. Now to the front passenger seat here, that's power. And then glove compartment there. Run through pocket there, 12 volt. And then come back around to the front. There's that 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6. But next, let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So nice leather wrap steering wheel here. Interesting horn sound. But over here to the radio, Navigation is built in there. We have AM, FM, XM radio, Bluetooth audio, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto compatibility. Now with this, you do have to log into something, kind of create a profile. And all of our entertainment apps are there. Now I'm not sure if you actually need to have a subscription with this. I hope not, because that gets very annoying. But of course, with wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, you never really use the nav anyway. Vehicle settings are in here. General settings are here. You can change your language, distance units, temperature units. And then we do have our climate controls down in here. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. It's just push button. So you go over the heated steering wheel or the heated seat button, and you can turn that on or off, or set the cooled seat there. And then the heated steering wheel toggle is there. You also have one up above here, and then you can choose fan direction within the screen. So for those of you that are used to buttons and don't want a screen, I'm sorry, but that's just how things are going now. Dual zone, and then the volume knob here, up, down. You can click to turn the audio source off. Tune knob is here, and then we do have our front camera there, and then our rear camera there, and the guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. Wireless charging pad down here, USB-A, USB-C port there, and then a little place for your phone, bottle holders, and then for the shifter, reverse, neutral, drive, sport mode, all that's done through the rotary knob, and then you have paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage, auto stop toggle. We do get a self-parking feature here, so we can parallel park or perpendicular park if we want to. And then the parking sensors can be toggled there. Center console cubby space is here. Pretty good size, honestly. It's very deep. But I have that roof, I should say sunshade going back so that I can open the roof. So there's that. That's one touch. And then the second touch takes it back a little bit. Sunglasses holder is here. And then all of your controls for the sunroof and the lights are there. Now I have had issues. I've been in two Edges today to compare, but for whatever reason, I can't close the sunshade or the sunroof back with one touch, which is kind of annoying. But anyways, I mean, this is a pretty dated model. There's a universal home remote there. Now I am surprised that it just let me one touch close the sunshade, which I'm not used to in Fords, but whatever. Blinkers are here, high beams, flash there, lane keep assist can be toggled there. And then we have our windshield wiper controls. We do get automatic wipers here. So one time off, intermittent, low, high, and then in that intermittent mode, again, you can adjust the auto sensitivity with this knob here. And then the rear wiper off, intermittent on, push back for the rear wiper fluid, pull up for the front wiper fluid. And then we do get the full suite of safety features. So we get the adaptive cruise with the lane centering. We can adjust the speed there, turn the cruise on or off, turn the lane centering on or off, and then adjust the gap for that cruise there. And these four arrows can go through the options that you have in the left side gauge cluster, and then these four arrows for the right side, which is basically just your phone and then the audio. And then you also have your mute button, voice recognition, volume controls, and your track list or radio station presets. And then when you're in your phone, you can use these to go through those settings there. Push button start. Finally, here is the key fob with remote start. But now for the fun part, let's go ahead and take this 2024 Edge ST out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Edge ST, I do like how it feels like a normal Edge when you're just driving it with, you know, just giving it a little bit of throttle. You're not giving it everything because the turbos aren't kicking in 100%. But it's also, it feels just as quiet in terms of the cabin acoustics, just the sound you get from the engine bay. So I'll definitely give it a few pulls. I'm not gonna thrash it, but I'll give it a few pulls just going around to kind of see if I can feel the difference between this and that twin scroll turbo 4. That's a 2-liter in all of the other trim levels. And one thing that is different is these ST seats are much more sport oriented. You have the side bolsters that kind of come up And then it's just a stiffer seat, I think. But we'll definitely see what it can do again as we take it out on the interstate. But in terms of, again, just your overall driving, I mean, the good thing about these is they do have that same Ford Edge feel, which is one of my favorite just everyday vehicles, because again, it is a Ford Edge, so you have the space of that. It's relatively efficient to be as quick as it is, 19 miles per gallon city, 25 highway. And it has that presence of the ST trim in particular has a sportier feel, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's a sleeper car, if that makes sense. This thing's a lot quicker than it lets on. But I mean, for the price point, it's not cheap, but it's also not crazy expensive either. You get a similarly equipped Audi, you're pushing 70 grand. But we'll definitely see what it can do again. Now I've put the Edge into sport mode, and I also have activated the paddle shifter, so we're gonna see how it does getting up to speed. Yeah, very, very quick. The shifts are surprisingly snappy. We're gonna test out the cruise here. Adjust the gap back, and then put in just the regular drive mode. So this is the full safety suite that you get here. You get the adaptive cruise. You get the lane centering, so a very impressive package here. And on the interstate, there's a little bit of wind noise. It is very windy out right now, but it's still not overly intrusive. It's actually pretty impressive for what this is. It's not a Lincoln, so I wouldn't expect the sound acoustics to be fantastic. But again, for it to be literally gusting outside, I'm pretty impressed. But what's great about this is I remember the old Edges that came out in 2007. Those were only getting probably about 24 miles per gallon highway. And now you have a speed demon. I say that with a grain of salt, but you know, a much faster, much more capable SUV than the Edge from 15 years ago. And it's still at least as efficient. You're getting 19 miles per gallon city, again, 25 highway when you were getting probably 16, 17 city, 23, 24 highway. And on top of all that, you have an all-wheel drive system. So pretty impressed by just everything that has kind of happened over the past few years in terms of just making things quicker but more efficient. And it's a smaller displacement than the 3.5 V6 that came out, but this is a 2.7 twin turbo V6, so. But I think for the money, it is fun. It's a Ford, but it doesn't, that shouldn't be a reason why you go with something like a Lexus or something for the same money, because this is much more fun to drive. I feel like much more capable and just much more practical. You can have your cake and eat it too, and that's what this vehicle tells us. And this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Ford Edge ST with all-wheel drive.